my girl Tasha K is back. I mean, what have you been up to? Things have been so quiet for you. It's like, I don't think a damn thing's been going on in your life.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. We're minding our business. Everything's peaceful and quiet.
It has been real quiet down there in Georgia. Not a damn thing happened nationwide.
Nothing at all.
Oh my God. Okay, first of all, I know you're limited on what you can say. You put out a big statement, right. you put out your final statement. How are you doing? Just how are you doing? Health-wise, mental health-wise, your family, like how are you doing?
Mental health, amazing. I've been in therapy 10 years, okay? Oh. So I think everybody in the limelight, one of my ex-mentees, I suggested that to him when he was going through a lot of stuff and he expressed some really crazy things. And I was like, okay, listen, you have to get therapy, and I just heard Nick Cannon talk about that on his show, that his therapist suggested that he, practice or be abstinent from sex or whatever. And so therapy is a big deal to me. And I'm forever reading, physically exhausted.
I bet.
Because,
yeah.
Being in court is like being in jail all day. Like you get up 5 a.m. I have kids, making sure they're good, taking them to school and stuff. And then we got to drive an hour to a courthouse and give up our phone all day, every day for 3 weeks. We have to stand when he says stand, sit down. So I felt like I was just in prison for 3 weeks.
It's if anybody has been, okay, so I've only been removed from a child custody case that was, but it's so draining as a family member, as a friend, for those going through it. And, I think anybody that's been in a court case, whether it's criminal, whether it's libel, whatever it is, there's so much that goes on in the criminal justice system. And P.S., I want people to know this. People get up there and fucking lie under oath all the time. So I will just leave it there, okay? Like, people lie. Okay. Oh, sorry. She left the stock. We're 2 minutes in. She left the show. Okay, all right. That's all I wanted. I'm not saying anybody.
Listen, I was like, wait, what? I was texting my husband telling him to come turn the heat off because I'm in this box of the studio so it gets hot. So then when you said that, I was like, ooh.
I'm not saying anybody's name.
One day I will be able to tell the entire story in full.
I just want to say this. You have been a wonderful friend to me, and I want to know how I get in Tasha K's mentor program, because I'll tell you, people don't know this about our business, but I don't care if it's other women in the business, other men. A lot of people are not, especially with a bigger following and somebody with a smaller following. You have 1 million subscribers. I have like 13,000 or something. Half of them are from you, for God's sakes. But they are. But a lot of... No, and I say that I'm very grateful for you. A lot of people do not help out other creators. They don't co-create. And, women, I've met great women in this business. I've met women that are very envious or jealous or not helpful. And you have always been so wonderful and so good to me. And, look, I can't say enough about you. And I just want to remind people, I mean, you do so many stories every single year. You get them absolutely right. I mean, good Lord, I don't know what's happening to that woman that was involved with the R. Kelly case, the Bales woman. She's going to see the FBI because,
Actually not. It was all, listen, from what we have discovered, it was cap. Because regarding that story, first of all, the feds don't move. They don't put out stories first, then indict you. You understand what I'm saying? They indict you, then the stories came out. There were no laws broken, on my end or whatever. And so, because I refused to cooperate with them during the R. Kelly investigation, I'm a news reporter and I have a duty to protect my sources.
Sure.
Okay, that's what this whole case was about recently. I have a duty to protect my sources. That is the oath that I've taken this path when it comes to entertainment, celebrity news. And so I'm not gonna, unless I catch you in an absolute lie, I'm going to protect you, right, wrong, or indifferent. And so And I in this situation, I protected my sources on both ends. I protected the person that, was helping me. It was plenty of people that was helping me.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm not, they're like, subpoena, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, because they wanted me to give. I'm like, no, then I won't have a job. You're destroying my livelihood. No.
Absolutely. Building your sources is so important for your job. Yeah. Because if people don't trust you and you lose that credibility, it's very hard to continue.
Exactly. I'm not worried about the viewers losing, like, oh, she lost credibility. My sources is all I need. So that's it. But go ahead. Sorry.
No. Well, let's go back. So you're in therapy, which helps so much. You take care of, and I said that about the R. Kelly story only because, I have known you for several years now, and I've known how many stories you've done. I mean, you get the story completely right, and you break stories. And I also love the one. It was Derek Jackson, who's the pastor that Lord, he was cheating on his wife, and she came out in this.
Great. That's the John Gray. Listen.
Oh my
They
God.
was all celebrating this victory here, but I'm like, listen, y'all know I'm on your ass, so y'all gonna live righteous, not because God told you, but because Tasha K told you.
That was my favorite.
Remember that, Pastor Gray?
He was on Sunday telling us how to live our lives and everything. My God, that he was out in the streets. That dick was a-slanging everywhere.
And it was slanging for crab legs and meatloaf.
I know. I tell you, it's, anyhow. But so you're taking care of your mental health. You go to therapy. So you and your family have been good through this process because it is a stressful one.
Yes. I mean, it was stressful as far as the time that was taken away from my family and from my work and, just being able to socialize because I wanted to remain completely free of any toxins, alcohol, marijuana, things like that, so it was a very purifying 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, mental health is important, especially given the lane that I'm in. If I were to take it all in, I wouldn't have a platform because I wouldn't be mentally sound to do it.
Does it bother you? Okay, you're used to criticism from your audience or random people that you really don't know on your Instagram or your YouTube. Does it bother you when national peers, other journalists, other people like, Charlemagne the God, other big name entertainment reporters or commentators, does it bother you when they have an opinion on you?
No.
And most recently on this incident?
And I curse.
Of course you can fucking curse. I curse all the fucking time on this. You talk about mental health.
I don't want to disrespect your show.
Girl, you
absolutely fucking not. I actually take it as what's that word? Flattery. I'm very flattered that I'm important enough for you to comment on and want to see do good, because I always take it like they're only saying things to make me better at what I do, and inadvertently it does. And then it also signifies how important I am. I don't need to sit on your show to get you views. You're getting views off of me.
Yeah, of talking about you
being on the show. So no, you have to understand, and this is what people don't understand. I created, even though I had mentorship, I never went to journalism school, but I tried my best to follow the journalistic law. Now, of course, do they curse? No, but I just thought that was just an edgier thing. And do they drink? No, but I can still do all of this and be able to relate to my peers. You understand what I'm saying? And so I've tried my best through trial and error to make sure that I'm not making journalists who've had to go to school, who've had to earn their respect, and I've gotten mine in 6 years, look bad. And so I take this industry very, very serious. And so I do have some things that I'm working on behind the scenes so that nobody can say anything anymore. But I don't want to put it out there because I don't like putting things out there until it's done. But as far as I'm concerned, I take it as flattery, and I take it as constructive criticism and not hate, because they have shared stories of mine where they weren't hating and they were praising me. So I can't have it one way all the time. It's going to have to go both ways. And you're only as good as your last impression or your last video in this industry. You know that.
Yeah.
So if your last video was great, they're going to congratulate you. If your last video was shitty, they're going to say, do better. You knew better. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So,
yes.
Yeah, I take it constructively.
And it's true. A lot of our peers, people have said good things, bad things. I hear over and over that this case is going to be historic, in the sense of for people like ourselves, whether you're a TikTok star talking about people or YouTube or, a journalist, influencer, that this is a historic case. It's yet to, you said this in your video, so I'm not saying anything I can't say, but, the appeal process has started. So, we're the end of this, we have yet to see.
It's not, it's definitely, it's far from over. So, you have to understand, like, when you have a jury of 12, I think we had 12, if I'm not mistaken, 10 or 12, if I'm not mistaken, because, with COVID, we may lose jurors and stuff like that.
Sure.
And so they're, for the first time, they're getting a glimpse of what YouTube digital news is and what mainstream news is. And you have to understand, when you have a jury of your peers that are in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, and we tried to choose the best jurors that we thought would be impartial to the case or whatever.
Sure.
But because traditional media has had such a huge footprint, even though the landscape is changing more and all of the traditional media is now becoming digital media, they don't quite understand what I do. You see?
Yeah.
So, when they're just presented with, this Black woman that's yelling and she's got wine and they don't know my history. Right. This is the first time they're ever seeing me. Of course, somebody will be like, what the, but, and I didn't take that personal. I was just like, and then you got somebody else in the courtroom and they're not able to see that background. You understand what I'm saying? And what that person is all about. So they only judged based off of what they saw in that moment and not the entire picture.
Sure.
And so throughout the appeal process, as well as the Supreme Court process, that the entire picture gets to come into play.
Well, and, for people that haven't been a part of a court case, but, you try to introduce a certain amount of evidence, then your opponent or, the other plaintiff, their team tries to get certain things thrown out, so, there's only certain things then that the jurors can hear, then some things get striked, they get removed. So even though they might have heard it, it can't come into play when they're deciding on a verdict. There's so many more things that go into it. Yeah.
And I didn't mean to cut you off. And because that person has other issues going on, that would have definitely disrupted what we had here civilly and could have immediately caused a prejudice situation.
Sure.
So as a judge, he's going to make sure, okay, I understand what you're saying. I'm not saying that you're lying. However, this is going to greatly impact what's going on over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you see what I'm saying? So until that gets situated, so we kind of want to go to trial. Yes, I wanted to go to trial. Defamation cases very rarely make it to trial. I believe there's only 4 in the United States that have ever made the trial.
Really? Because you both are, you and Cardi are public figures. So it's very hard to do a defamation case against a public figure, usually ever, because either side, because you kind of give that up when you decide to be in the public light or you're a YouTuber, all that, So really only 4. I didn't know that.
Yeah, only 4. I think the last one was in 1967 against the New York Times. Now, there's been a lot of defamation cases filed, but as far as going to trial, you got to really present yourself well. Everybody, listen, you have to be a special case to go to trial. And because we pushed so hard to go to trial, our side did. That's the reason why we went to trial. Judge don't want fucking us. He's like, who the fuck is this? Who the fuck is this? No. You understand? Like, because ultimately it's his career too, and he don't want no fuck shit in the courtroom. But we played by the rules, even though some of the rules were against us, and still made it to that point. And I'm glad that we made it to that point because, going forward in my business, guess what? This only makes our company much stronger. You understand?
Yeah.
And so this was a very well lesson learned, but we still got a lot more lessons to learn throughout this time. Going through Pellet, and if Pellet doesn't see it that way, then it's Supreme. You understand what I'm saying? So we're going to be, joined at the hip for quite some time.
Wow. Okay. This isn't over.
No, absolutely not. So, and this is not to send any hate anybody's way. I mean, we're talking about something that happened 4 years ago. I have no animosity. I have no.
That's amazing. Really. Because I was like, oh my God, are you angry about it and angry about the money? No.
It's just money. When you know how to make money.
I was going to say, that's why you always have money. Cause see, you don't you don't put a value, you know what I mean? You're not like grasping it. You know, there's more money to come always.
There's more money to make. Like I always said this, right? If things don't work out, I can always take $250,000 of my cash and start a Subway. I can buy in a Chick-fil-A. There's so many ways to make money. So people don't understand, like, you know, if this, you know, you have talk shows that come on TV and they're here and then they're gone. And then you see that same talk show host come back in another way. I'm here forever. And so if I have to go different avenues, if I lose this platform to go somewhere else, best believe, you know what? My talent is always here. Always. My voice will always be here. But guess what? It's just going to come back in a bigger and better way.
Were you guys ever intimidated in this process? I don't know. You know, Cardi's sort of a terrifying person. I feel like, was she like staring at you the whole time? Oh, okay.
She's not. She's very petite. She's very little. You know, most little people got big voices. You know, people would call me little I have a lot of guests that I fly in and stuff for interviews. They're like, that's you. And I'm like, yes. Like, but to her, like, she was like, she's mini. She's a mini girl.
God, Cardi B
little women send off an impression to people who don't know them. Like, oh, they're so little, so cute, so innocent.
Oh, hell yes. Oh, my God. Come on. It's theatrics, people. It's theatrics. I wanted to
touched on the cute part, though. But, you know, just so little. And, you know, little does equal cute. Because you can have an ugly dog or an ugly cat and they be tiny. But because they're so tiny, they're so cute. Just comfy, you know?
Girl, you inspire me so fucking much. You are so strong. Did your family have any moments were they like, Tasha, okay, you know, this, you shouldn't go through with this? I mean, your husband seems like my husband, like ride or die. I mean, he seems amazing.
Shaq is the shit. So I was willing to say and lay down my guard and say, you know what, if it means that much to you, whatever. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. But then my husband came back. If we allow her to do this, everybody's going to want to do it. And so we have, depending on how they come at it, and approach is always the main thing. You know what I'm saying? They always say your communication makes or breaks you, right? Mm-hmm. So the communication definitely wasn't there at the time. And, you know, it was more so an entitlement and who I am. And so I'm like, I've always told people who thought they were here, you know, we're here, we're the same. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, I am a very forgiving person as well. And so, but nothing was done to make me see otherwise. And that's why I said during my statement, people want respect, that they will never get respect from me at all. So my husband was the one that put the gas on this. He put the bread on the table. We put our money where our mouth was and said, press forward, let's go.
I know. You guys have a great partnership.
We spent the same amount of legal fees. We spent the same amount, you know, so it is what it is. And trust me, we're a business, so we have things in place in case things happen. So yeah. I'm not out here. I got money to back me up. You understand? So I'm not even worried about it.
Does it irritate you? And I know the answer to this, but I guess you don't give a shit because people have all kinds of speculation. They're like, she's broke. She's not going to have. I guess you don't.
Give a shit. And I want them to keep thinking I'm broke so they won't ask me for no damn money.
Don't call me.
I ain't got it. I'm $4 million in debt. I ain't got it. No.
Do not call me. Don't call me. Don't call Tasha K Productions. We don't have a nickel.
Don't call me. We are -$4 million. I ain't got it. You understand? Like your daddy hit his granddaddy. Here's a quarter.
Oh my God. Yeah. You are such anyway, I love you. I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad you're doing so well. It's infuriating as a friend to know you personally, to kind of like, you know, see some people in your comments and then, you know, I comment and people are like,
everybody says that. And I tell them, everybody says that. And I tell them, don't read the comments. You have to understand. These are spectators. Howard Stern had the same amount of haters. So did Wendy Williams. So did Charlamagne the God, until he had that wake-up call and he changed his rhetoric.
Yeah, I know that. He's done a total 180. I know.
Before it was like, can I smell your teeth? You know, see, your titties look good. Your ass look good. And then all of a sudden, you know, when he lost the deal, Black power, Black mental health, respecting Black women.
I'll let you keep going. Yes, I know. Yeah, I mean, and look, I mean, all of us, right? All of us, and especially, I love you too. You started in Maryland, which was great, know, because, I was in the DC area, I was on radio, and how we acted in 2008, 2009 on the radio. And this was the same with so many other performers and entertainers, and then how you operate now is totally different. Everybody, it's why I hate cancel culture, because like people do that and then they have their own shit in their background, and the skeletons in their closet. It's just like we all fuck up. We all make mistakes. We all do things different 5 years from now than we would have 5 years ago.
And cancel culture only lasts if you haven't molested a child or raped anybody or killed anybody.
I know people.
Cancel culture lasts all of 2 weeks.
Hey, what do you think? What is your take, though, on like a person like Joe Rogan using the N-word? What do you think? And that seems to happen to white people all the time. They always get caught using
Sarah.
They always use the... Do you want to skip this? You can tell me skip it.
We gotta skip. I don't run for nothing.
What's your thoughts on that?
I chose this seat and I'm aware. You understand what I'm saying? I chose this seat and
Me too. And I love to ask all the questions. What do you think of the N-word? What do you think of Joe Rogan's thing?
I think Joe Rogan has been saying it all over the years, and all of a sudden it's a problem now.
And do you think, are you under this kind of, like, a lot of people are saying this, all different people are saying, well, he's just getting too big. He's getting too powerful. He's got this platform. And I feel like this could be you a little bit too.
People make people powerful. You understand? These clips that they pulled on Joe Rogan were done over the years. Why? But it was done and no one said anything about it. So they kind of collect things and they just move the strike at one time. And they want to wait till you get real big to fall. You understand what I'm saying? And so I'm glad that Spotify is sticking behind them. And I hate that when I see a lot of my peers, holding the picket signs and stuff. And it's like, but that what these corporations and what their agendas are about. And you think they care less if you decide to exit a platform? The only thing you could do is get bigger so that you could be a part of the conversation.
Oh, that's such a good way to look at it.
You understand what I'm saying? And you can move the conversation. And I don't think exiting a platform that has gave you a voice to even go viral as it speaks now is going to help the situation at all. And so I'm not going to say it was a mistake because he intentionally used the word. But let's be honest. We watch movies and white people use the word. Okay. We watch, we hear songs and white people use the word. We hear it all the time because as a culture, it's like, how do you expect me to respect you if you don't respect yourself? We've made the word okay. We've taken it, which was a word that was meant to speak down upon and make us feel bad, and made it a term of endearment. You understand what I'm saying? And so I don't believe in the whole it's not okay for a person to say it. Now, if it's an isolated incident, you want to call me that to my face, then we're going to have to deal with that. But he was telling stories the same way that, people tell stories in Hollywood. Now, there was one situation where he did use the Planet of the Apes, and I was like,
the joke. Yeah, that was really good.
Joke. I don't know where you got that, but he did take it down. He took it down. He didn't keep it up. He realized and took it down. He could have been real arrogant and say, you know what, people will see it as a mistake, but he realized how bad that sounded and nobody had to point out and tell him to take it down. So why should he have to apologize if he removed it from his platform? The moment it was over. And so as digital entertainment news providers and what he does, we are going to fuck up.
Oh, totally. I say that to people.
We're human. We're gonna fuck up.
And you and I and everybody else in our industry, we talk 350 days out of the year. You're not going to say everything right. Now, you're right. I mean, I guess these happened 14 years ago. It's always amazing to me. The N-word is one word I feel like white people, there's so many other words you could use. I just don't know why white people ever use it.
I use the word, listen, I'm from Panama City, Florida. We call it LA because it's right below Alabama. I've used the word cracker. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, but you
what are they gonna do?
But what do you? Yeah, but I don't feel like. But don't. But don't you feel like it's the racial history? That's why. It's like, if you call me a cracker, I'm not, actually, I mean, if you call me a cunt, like, I'm not offended by, I'm not really offended by anything.
Cracker, all that stuff is horrible. You understand what I'm saying? Nigga, it's horrible. But there's some people, I'm going to be honest with you, there's some people that are just so horrible, just like there are great Caucasian people, great black people, and then there's some crackers of white people and some niggers of black people. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course,
You see, as a race, people are classifying, and Joe Rogan made that mistake when he used the Planet of the Apes situation. Like, it was like I landed in the Planet of the Apes, and that right there, that just showed how ignorant he was as a person and how disconnected he was from society. And I think as people who are in these positions, we need to be well versed on everybody. I have Asian friends, white friends, black friends,
Muslim friends. Yeah.
I go places where I was never wanted to go. And it's kind of hard to live in some of those places, but I go so that, guess what, I can understand someone's perspective and understand that they're human and not this other thing. And so I just think that, you know, people just need to have thick skin, and people are going to fuck up. It ain't like his show is racist based. He's interviewed some of the most biggest black entertainers. He's put on some of the biggest UFC black fighters and put money behind them. Stop.
I know. Well, Dave Chappelle's been on his platform. Of course, they've tried to cancel Dave Chappelle numerous times. Kevin Hart, we saw Kevin Hart lose the Oscar. I mean, everybody. I mean, it goes on and on. You know, and Kevin Hart should host the damn Oscars.
Cancel your debit card because we're creating a network.
You are, I know, you're so good. Okay. Now that I've gotten your take on everything, I've gotten your take on race, on free speech, on court cases, the whole thing.
I'm telling you, people just don't know. I just don't give a shit. I just think people just overthink. And, you know, it's different if we get to see what you say behind closed doors. But it be the main ones, I'm telling you, that's got shit to hide, that want to magnify somebody else's stuff as if that makes them who they are. And that's not Joe Rogan. I'm sorry. That's just not him.
Well, and you know,
we've all said crazy stuff, but go ahead.
No. I mean, look, you and I are in the business too of free speech. I mean, you know, you might not like what someone says, but you know, it is free. Are we going to become that society where you can't talk about certain things, where you can't? Same thing with
There's
Whoopi.
There's a difference between hate speech,
and
free speech.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan does not participate in hate speech.
Yeah.
Sarah Fraser does not participate in hate speech. But if you're telling a story and the story involves that word because maybe somebody else said it, you know, you have the right to tell that story the same way Hollywood has that right to put it in a documentary and put it in a movie.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Well, you do see white people in films say it all the time. So
all the time.
You know,
but are we canceling the film directors and say, you know what? Slaves went through this for 400 years. Enough. But when they see songs charting and white people are going to the, let's be honest, I done been to the concerts. It's white folks.
It's white folks. Hey,
I'm in the skybox.
You know what? What can I say?
Who's your favorite rapper? Who's your favorite rapper, Sarah?
Oh my God, I have so many. I mean, honestly, I was just thinking about, well, Ja Rule back in the day was like I used to love like Ja Rule. Oh my God, Jay-Z. I mean, I went to a Kanye West show when Kanye West was first coming up. I mean, oh my God, everybody.
If it's used within context of you delivering a story as someone who is a media leader, then you have the right to tell that story.
There you go. There's some free speech for you. There's a hot take. People will be coming for you on that too. All right, let's talk you are a professional in celebrity news, so let's talk the latest. Okay, I'm obsessed with Wendy. Wendy is like, she gives me you vibes. Wendy is one of my heroes because she's not beholden to celebrities, which is very rare. Do you think Wendy is ever coming back, or do you think that these ongoing stories that she is basically like has dementia, or if there's any truth?
Listen, somebody right inside her camp that works with her every day called me and told me about her having issues recognizing people, you know, and remember and forgetting names and things and such like that. And so, you know, dementia starts light. You know, you have moments and spells. It's not necessarily like it's taking full effect or whatever. And they have medicine that can slow the progress, you know. And so, and that does depend on her diet and lifestyle changes and stuff like that. But It's a very sad situation.
I know.
I can't imagine going through something like that. But you know, and a lot of people look at this as Wendy's karma, which is crazy
Horrible.
to me. Like it reminds me of when I used to get a whooping back in the day, and my mom would use this term, "God gonna punish you," and I'm like, but aren't I being punished right now? So I'm gonna get punished again. You know, I could get a whooping, and God gonna punish you, and it's like, I think it's just a way for people to mind fuck people into scaring them, you know, into doing things that they want to do. It's a word of manipulation, you know. So this idea of her having karma, Wendy told stories the same way our parents, our aunties sit in the living room and talk shit about the neighbors.
That's it. That's all she's doing is talking shit. And hello, fucking legendary. I mean, one of the few women that could ever hold her own on radio, a radio show in New York City, Black woman. I mean, it's like, hello.
Well,
I mean,
Miss Jones was one too, but Miss Jones, you know, back when she came up, you know, our complexion, we weren't getting ahead. It was lighter and above. And so Wendy, you know, of course, her look and, you know, the audacity of the things that she's saying got her to where she is. But Miss Jones was very prolific. I have to, because she came up around that time too, and I just have to give her credit. And I know she doesn't get a lot of credit out here.
It's true. There always are people that we don't know much about, you know. Yeah. And where was Miss Jones? Where was her radio show?
I think 96.7. She worked with Troy Terrain, Star and Buck Wild. She worked with those guys.
Oh, yeah. In New York City.
DJ Envy in New York City. Yes, Hot 97. So yeah, she was pretty prolific. If you look up her, I mean, her stats, it's like, you know, the only way dark-skinned girls were making it is if they were in movies playing slaves or playing hoes or getting beat, or, you know, rapping per se, but there has to be a light-skinned girl. Lil' Kim was very, very prolific for us. You know, Missy Elliott was very prolific for us. So,
legends.
You know, she was coming up around the time where Wendy's look, she had the mouth, and she had the I don't give a fuck, and she was willing to sell herself. You know, the coke habits. You know, when you saw another cokehead going at a cokehead on radio, Whitney Houston, it was epic. So
epic.
But yeah, but go ahead. I'm so sorry.
No. I just wonder, and then I want to ask you about, I love that you had Nene Leakes' lover on, the young guy there that, you know, basically if he puts his hands on you, you'll never forget. Your face in that interview was so good.
Because I felt like he was trying to hit on me. He
was looking at you. He was like staring at you. His mouth was, I was like, oh, this is hot.
He was like, my husband wasn't there at the time, but if he was, I would have been like, Shaq in the room.
He goes, I'm into older women. He looks straight in your eyes. He was like,
I'm older. I'm just turning 40. Out of here.
No, you're young. But isn't he, how old is he? When he
was 38. That's what he said. He was 38. He just looked young because of the braids and stuff. He did. Like that.
I thought he was like 28 or 29. Okay, well, never mind. But Wendy, you know, my theory, this is just completely a theory. I just feel like Wendy's never gotten over Kevin leaving. You know, I just feel like that was, I don't know, even though she knew he was cheating for years and he had that, you know, he obviously has a love child with her. I just feel like that was the downfall, was when they really fully separated. She just, I don't know. I think she really loved him despite all his serious flaws.
I mean, they were together for a long time. And I just think they developed a brother and sister relationship. Yeah. You know, and so she's older and, you know, he's unable to really give her and please her in that way. And so, you know, she had to go get a young one that can drill. And that's all he's worth is drilling.
He really was.
All he can do.
Oh my God. Okay. So, yes, I wanted to ask you about, you know, Nene Leakes. Obviously, she's moved on. Wendy, we sort of know what's going on with Wendy there. And then, okay, tell me some other celebrities that you have stories coming up about or you're working on. Anybody you can share with us?
You know what? Because of, and this is not me not wanting to tell you, Sarah. You know I would tell you.
I know you would.
You know, like I have someone right here now threatening me because we're about to put a story out. So being that our platform is on a large scale and people are probably, what is she going to say? They like to threaten first before they even see it. So I typically don't say anything until it's over. But I can give you one. We are doing a story on Boys to Men.
On Boys to Men?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So you can put that out. You can put that out.
Okay.
You know, there's so much to kind of grab from that. So, like, I will tell you that is coming up.
Oh, you know, I think you had also done recently, you were kind of doing a deep dive into this Playboy documentary. And
yes,
Hugh Hefner.
I'm working on that. I'm working on that as well, because I feel that if we're going to truly cancel, you know, if R. Kelly's music is being pulled off of YouTube and movies, Bill Cosby show, the Cosby Show is being pulled from streaming services and not being streamed because of the allegations that allegedly took place in the Playboy Mansion. That name and who the founder was and the mission behind that name needs to be held accountable. And so if they want to rebrand, do it. But carrying on a name that supported alleged human trafficking.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
That documentary is wild.
Well, we went hard on R. Kelly, but when it comes to Playboy and Hugh Hefner and everybody that he supposedly manipulated and recorded and blackmailed to keep that name what it is, nah, F that. So I'm going hard in the paint on really, you know, even though they're saying that they don't own it no more, it doesn't matter. It's what the name represents. It's all the young girls that were allegedly violated behind that name.
Do you think people are not going as hard just because Hef is dead? You think because it
doesn't matter, but his businesses live on. Is Bill Cosby show still on the air? He ain't dead. R. Kelly's music is being pulled. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, so it's like, why isn't the magazine? I mean, I don't even know if the magazine is still, but I know, I think online. I mean, they're still doing Playboy shoots. Okay, you were live last night on your Instagram Live. You were talking about Kanye West.
You caught that?
I want to kind of do a couple things and wrap up here. So what do you think is going on with Kanye and Kim? You know, I think there's always a little truth to these custody stories on both sides. Now, you seem to say that Kanye is manic, been manic, and you think Kim is just done with him.
She's done, and she should be. She should have been done when he went to the internet or when he did his rally to talk about her having abortions and losing babies and stuff. Like, that was rough. Violated your wife. My husband would never. Kanye talks too fucking much. And so she's a very public figure. Who wants that information out? Some things we should be able to keep for ourselves, but Kanye doesn't seem to understand that. He doesn't know what that means. And so here's what I'm going to say about this. I feel that Kanye, black man, white man, whatever, given his history, and I want to ask you a question.
Oh, yeah, ask.
Given his history, given his episodes, given whatever is going on, would you allow your kids to go off and be with someone whose behavior is so erratic in the public and is now allowing any and everybody around him?
That's a good point.
Without screening, would you allow your children to go off?
No, when you frame it like that, no, I wouldn't. I'd feel the same way that she does. I think
in birthday parties, I wouldn't give you an address because who's to say you ain't gonna bring your entourage or these people that we don't know, and then you're knowingly associating with people who have intentionally lied. And you know, this person snuck into parties, took pictures, you know, created these false narratives about these women, and now you've linked up with their one of their husbands trying to create a similar brand so that you can control the narrative. But in the reality is, I don't even think a black woman that was fucking Kanye would allow their children to be off in this bullshit. And he's got all these people around and nobody knows who the fuck they are. And he's just, you're hired, you come. He's got entourages of women. My children are staying the fuck home. So I support Kim Kardashian 1000% on how she's raising those children, because contrary to what people are saying, you saying you don't want your child on social media, but yet you post a picture of your child on social media to make her the topic of conversation? No. I'm sorry. No.
Okay.
Keep your children at home.
One more celebrity question, then we're going to talk about how great you look, and then I know you are a busy woman. I was like freaking out when you had image consultant and relationship expert Kevin Samuels on, who women hate. I think he speaks some truth. I know a lot of women, and I always get on his Instagram, and I'm always like, talk about white women, He's like, I'm not going to talk about white women. I'm like, you should. They're just as much looking for money and a come up as anybody else. But, oh my God.
The moment he does that, the moment he'll cross over.
I think he has some truths, which is a lot of women of all backgrounds are expecting to go out and meet a guy who makes $300,000, but they don't want to do a lot for it. They don't want to make any sacrifices. They don't want to stay at home. They want to come to the table with 3 kids and divorce drama. What was it like to interview him? I love it because, he speaks his own truth of experience, and oh my God, does he fucking ruffle feathers? People lose their shit. I'm like, don't watch.
It was something that my team put together. I don't usually talk to other YouTubers and stuff, but because he's made such an impact in the culture, I thought it was necessary that I talk to him. And I thought it would kind of give him a more of a balanced look.
It was great.
So, and it worked, and we're really cool to this day. And so, a lot of stuff that he said was absolutely true because I've spent my life in barbershops and raised by men, and these are the conversations that they have. But soon as they baby mama pull up behind, they get quiet. And so, I just think that it's time, and I think for men and women to cohabitate together, whether Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, we're accustomed to not listening to our husbands. We call them stupid, dumb. I send you to the store to get this, you bring back this. And so they instantly kind of, they step back and they don't put their voices in. But when they do put their voices in, it's emotional abuse, it's mental abuse, or it's physical abuse. And so there needs to be a medium. It doesn't have to be 2 opposite ends of the spectrum. There needs to be a medium so that when bullshit is going on, they know how to speak up without coming across as being intimidating or, mentally and emotionally abusive. And I think Kevin Samuels has created a space for men to have a word at the table, at the dinner table.
Oh, I guess people are not happy about it, but I enjoy. I'm addicted to watching him. I think it's so fascinating.
Yeah, he's amazing. Yeah.
Look, your son is about to turn 3. You did a post, your before and after body, and you look so good. And I really appreciate you saying that it took 2 years to get your body back because, I had my son in April, so he's 10 months old, and damn, is this your body? It's like it is so slow to return,
and it's harder the older we get too. So.
Yes.
When I had my daughter Tontu, I was back down and no problem. I didn't gain as much weight with her, but I was 24 at the time. So my body, and then I was working, so I was able to kind of get back and firm up. I was a CrossFitter. Now, giving birth, I got back problems and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
My back aches.
Damn. I'm like, hemorrhoids, you name it. Like, damn.
I gotta get icy hot on before I get down on the floor. I'm trying to do a few sit-ups. I'm trying to do a plank. My God, my joints ache. I know.
And so my mom gave me the best advice when I had my daughter. We're always so worried about being perfect and making sure the house is clean and, making sure that everything goes perfect and you're still able to be that sexy wife for your husband, or baby daddy or whatever. And it's in reality, that shit goes out the door. You got a child that you are looking after. And I'm gonna be honest with you, real women who don't have Kevin Hart, Eniko Hart's the wife's money.
Yeah, I know.
We lose the weight later. We raise the baby first, lose the weight later. We don't wheel ourselves into a plastic surgeon 6 weeks after giving birth. So, and you got a newborn at the house, Amber Rose.
Whew.
And I know you've had another baby before, but give your body some time to rest. As a matter of fact, let your baby drink some milk.
Yeah.
Because you can't drink milk if you're on painkillers trying to recover and can't lay or sit on your ass because you done had a mommy makeover. It's just unrealistic. I think it's sickening. I think it's selfish, and it's like you're a mother now. Had all that surgery, and yet your man still out here dropping them one by one. Told you he wasn't gonna change. He was gonna continue to bust them hoes down, and you did all that surgery for what?
Yeah.
And all a man wants is somebody to nurture and listen to him. But because your ass was in the doctor and he having to take care of you and a newborn.
I love it. Tasha K, you are amazing. Unwind with Tasha K.
Thank you.
This year
you are too.
Well, I'm getting in your mentor program. Hello. I am getting in the mentor program because I still care a little bit too much about what people think. So I need to subscribe to you.
Don't read it. If you don't read it, you don't know.
Right. You know what it bothers me, and I have to let this go, is like people that have followed me, right? If I say something, right? Oh, like, okay, the latest thing, masks, right? So if I say, well, they should lift mask restrictions, I get people in my DMs, I've followed you for 8 years. I can't follow you anymore. I disagree with your mask stance. And I'm so shocked that you would say this. And I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know why I care. I'm like, I don't know. I still hold on to like, oh, I shouldn't let them down after 10 years.
That shit. Do you know how many people are saying die bitch in my DM?
It's true.
I'm like, nah, if I said that back to you, you're going to sue me.
Yes.
For mental distress. See, old Tasha K, I would have showed up at your door. Like, what you say?
Yeah.
But it's flattery. And
it is.
They always say that they're gonna stop. They don't go no damn where. I lost 60,000 followers at one time. I've had 4 Instagrams shut down. They all came right back.
God, that's so true. It's so true. Thank you for that. You're amazing. Fuckery Fridays. People can still watch you on YouTube, of course, weekly. I can't wait to see what unfolds. Thank you, friend. You are a light. And you're so and people really, anybody that wants to be in the entertainment business, any journalism, if you want to have a political podcast, people need to follow you and fucking listen to you because seriously, you have a thick skin. You're amazing. And I don't care who you are, what your background is, at some point people are going to come for you. So your ass better get ready.
I tell them, welcome to YouTube. Welcome to the internet.
Welcome to the internet. So anyway, Tasha K, love you so much. Follow her everywhere. YouTube, of course, on Instagram. She is verified now. She is hot and verified. Bye, Tasha K.